using bacterial metabolites or byproducts to suppress plant diseases in pecan. Beneficial nematodes carry certain symbiotic bacteria. They have a partner. That's how the nematodes kill the insect. They have their partner bacteria and the nematodes work together to kill the insect. But these bacteria have certain byproducts that are antibiotics that suppress fungi or other bacteria that try and get inside the insect host. We thought, why not use these antibiotic metabolites to control pecan diseases? And in fact, we see that they can be very effective. This is against Phytophthora, a sprayed leaf that's protected, as well as a control leaf. This has the bacterial metabolite, this one doesn't. We also see suppression of scab spoliation using these bacterial metabolites. And one of the chemicals we found that's active in these bacterial metabolites is tranexamic acid. So here we see some inhibition levels of different bacteria or their metabolites. You see different strains or species of the bacteria have different levels of inhibition, but they work against a wide variety of disease-causing fungi or mycetes, such as scab, Phytophthora, Phomopsis, Glomerella, and Monolinea, which is brown rot in peaches. We see against Glomerella, TCA is extremely effective, and some other bacteria also more effective than the others. Against scab, the same thing. TCA, very effective, and so is this bacteria. We also see that if you're applying the metabolites and combine it with existing fungicides that are on the market, you can get a synergistic level of suppression, such as with these fungicides, Serenade, Regalia, and Prophyte. This is all combined with the fungicides and metabolites, and this is on their own. So you see synergistic reduction of the disease when you combine the metabolites from the bacteria with the chemical. And that's also true with other fungicides such as Elas and Propamax. Lastly, I'll talk about using that insect-killing fungus, Bavaria bassiana, as an endophyte. An endophyte is something that lives inside a plant but doesn't cause harm. It was found that Bavaria bassiana, this insect-killing fungus, is very good for applying as a pesticide, but it also can live inside a plant and not hurt it. And in fact, when it lives in the plant, it provides suppression for certain insects. It's kind of a self-defense mechanism that's living inside the tree. This fungus was found as an endophyte in many different crops and suppressing many different kinds of insects and even reducing diseases. So it's like the good fungus pushing out the bad fungus. So we wanted to know, can we do this in pecan? Can we put this fungus, Bavaria bassiana, into pecan? And indeed we did. We saw that we can soak the seeds in a fungus solution, roll the pecan seeds, or drench pecan seedlings, and we find the fungus then living in the pecan stem, leaves, and roots. Initial results were confirmed by exposing fungi isolated from the plant to these insects, wax moth, and mealworms. And we did a molecular confirmation to make sure the fungus was inside the plant, the pecan plant. Here you see cuttings of the pecan seedling with the fungus growing out, showing that the fungus is living inside the plant. And again, we also confirmed it using molecular PCR methods. So overall, we're trying to see if this insect-killing fungus inside the pecan tree will provide protection to that pecan from insect pests and diseases. We want to see how long it'll stay in the plant. So far, at least 2 years. We want to see if the virulence is conserved, and we found that it is. That means it can still kill insects when it's living in the tree. And then we want to see more specifically how it contributes, the fungus can contribute to control aphids and diseases. For insects and aphids, we did this in greenhouse studies, taking leaf discs from pecan seedlings that had the endophytic fungus in them versus control seedlings that don't have the fungus. We then expose this to aphids. And you can see for black margin aphid and for black pecan aphid, the level of population of aphids is lower in the endophyte plants compared to the control. So the fungus inside the tree is protecting it against aphids. More recently, we find that another fungus, the green muscadine fungus shown here, can also be amenable to inoculating pecan and existing as an endophyte inside the pecan plant. So this is the green muscadine fungus. The other one I was talking about before is the white muscadine fungus. And we see all these different varieties are susceptible to inoculation with the fungus and subsequent existence of the endophyte in the plant. In fact, this fungus, Metarhizium brunium, is even more amenable to this procedure, we think, than the Bavaria bassiana, the white muscadine fungus. We also found that you can spray this fungus onto seedlings, and the plant will absorb that fungus, and it will then exist as an endophyte inside the plant. We looked at suppression of Phytophthora. This was with Bavaria, and we see that the endophyte leaves had much lower percent lesion compared to control leaves. So the plant diseases that are attacking the pecan could be suppressed by these endophytic fungi. So conclusions so far show that Bavaria bassiana and Metarhizium brunium can be inoculated into pecan trees via seeds or seedlings. Our initial research indicates that the endophytic fungus can contribute to protection against pecan aphids and pecan disease. This endophytic fungus, Bavaria bassiana, has been observed in nature, so some of it's already out there. Our goal is to inoculate trees and spread those around so that we have more trees that can protect themselves against insects and disease. In the future, we're going to be comparing which cultivars of pecan are the most susceptible to this endophyte approach, which ones will take up the fungus most easily. We also want to look further at this foliar spray method. Can we just spray either seedlings or mature trees with the fungus and have it taken up as an endophyte in that manner, because that's going to be easy. We're looking more at efficacy tests at Phytophthora. Also, we'll be looking at scab, and we'll be monitoring disease and insect attack of the endophyte trees versus non-endophyte trees in the field. Lastly, we also want to look at plant growth and yield in those trees that have the endophytic fungus versus those that don't. Because in many other crops, it's been shown that those plants that have the endophytic fungus, such as Bavaria bassiana, will grow better and have higher yield, better nutrition uptake than other plants. So this fungus seems to be very positive and beneficial for plant growth and other physiological factors. I'd like to thank all of those providing technical assistance, co-investigators, and funding. I want to thank this group as well for inviting me to speak. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Bueno, les comento que el doctor Shapiro no está conectado con nosotros, así que él podrá acceder a las preguntas cuando lo considere conveniente y podría responder a estas pues en ese momento. Por lo pronto pues no podemos hacer la conexión para que él pues pueda responder a las preguntas que ustedes pues tienen. Vamos entonces a ver algunos videos de nuestros patrocinadores para después continuar con la siguiente presentación.
En Viveros Espinosa producimos árboles de nogal de excelente calidad para proporcionar plantas sanas y vigorosas de alta productividad con nivel de certificación. Contamos con tamaños que van desde media pulgada hasta 2 pulgadas de las variedades Western, Wichita, Pawnee y Navajo. Contáctenos en Montemorelos, Nuevo León para mayor información.
¿Qué hará?
Ok. Pues vamos a tener a continuación la presentación de la doctora Paola Carolina Cantú Nava. La doctora Carolina egresó de Leeds en su carrera de biotecnología. También hizo su maestría en biotecnología y su doctorado en este mismo tema en el mismo Instituto Tecnológico de Sonora. Ella egresó en el año 2020. Actualmente trabaja en la Universidad de Querétaro. Ha hecho diferentes estudios, como por ejemplo, estudios sobre residuos de pesticidas o parasiticidas, así como también ha hecho estudios sobre interacciones de microorganismos con cultivos. En esta ocasión, ella está conectada al Zoom para darnos la plática